Philharmonic in the Ukrainian port city of Odessa wasn't always a philharmonic. It's built at the close of the 20th century. It was initially intended as a stock market. Now, more than a quarter century after the fall of the Soviet Union and the rise of Ukrainian independence, Ukrainian stock markets still have not fully developed. I'm joined today by Timur Khromaev, the chairman of the National Securities and Stock Market Commission. Mr. Khromaev, thank you for joining me.
Hello.
So let's cut right to the chase. What is the status of the stock market in Ukraine?
It's not working properly in order to make sure that the Ukrainian economy gets all the benefits of the capital markets. So that's what we're here for, to change it and in light of the revolution of dignity, to follow the European model, to integrate us into European capital market.
Now,
what
have been the main obstacles in setting up a developed stock market in this country?
And so first of all, you need to demolish the old one, because the stock markets that appeared right after the collapse of the Soviet Union was mostly used to do the privatization and to move the shares from that very wide investor community to a very few. And that was the role. But this is not the role of the capital markets in the modern times. The major role is to multiply and make sure that the capital markets takes an active role in capital formation of the national capital in order to, stream it to the, forces, economic forces, in order to create value in the country. And that's what never been taking place. We've always been borrowing outside, been borrowing from the banking system, but the proper capital markets never been in place. Luckily, we have signed the European Association Agreement. We have very precise guidelines how to integrate ourselves. There's the rules, the rule book that we need to transfer into our legislature and to join the forces of the capital market. We have very good opportunities, as you see. We have great history. And there's nothing wrong with us. I'm sure we'll do it. We just need some time because this is like fine-tuning the orchestra. Everybody needs to play its role, its precise role, and not to abuse.
Now, your commission is involved in reforming the current market structure. What sort of exact reforms do you need? Is this mainly legislation? Is this the creation of new exchanges?
Everything.
Everything.
Everything. It's a total change.
Sounds like a tall order.
Absolutely. We need new laws. We need new regulations. Basically, we have a strategy that's been approved by the president, by the cabinet, and by the majority as well. It's a financial reform plan 2020, upon which we need to create regulatory environment. We need to offer and promote new financial instruments, such as shares, equity, fixed income, derivatives. That we need to build infrastructure, which is exchanges, as you said, central depositories, clearing houses as well. And the fourth one, to provide proper regulation for the issuers, for the borrowers, for those who are using the capital market to get the funding for their needs.
Now, I can see how a well-functioning stock market for Ukraine would attract a lot of foreign investment. But do you believe it would also stimulate internal investment, since Ukraine culturally does not have a lot of experience with stock markets in general?
Of course, yeah, we have the Soviet system never promoted private property and investments, private investments. The Ukrainian capital markets for the future will be specifically for that role. We're building the market not for international investors only, or the locals only. We're not inventing Ukrainian bicycle here, We're creating the market that is compliant and in line with international rules and standards. And all investors, Ukrainian investors, should feel themselves in Ukraine, in the Ukrainian capital market, as they will feel anywhere else. Same would apply to the international investors. They should get all the variety of financial instruments locally, be able to invest abroad and locally, and be safe.
Now, is there a lot of desire for Ukrainian companies who may now be private to go public once these systems are in place?
Well, obviously, this is a long-term plan, and our companies are managing with the existing problems at this time, mostly macroeconomic ones. But I do see that down the road, 3 to 5 years, equity, public placements would be of certain use. We're also considering new platforms like crowdfunding platforms. We also have a very good outlook for the fixed income, for bonds. That also, to me, I think, new investors, Ukrainian investors, would be mostly interested to go into debt first. And then equity is a very sensitive instrument because it needs the country to be on a stable, long-term, sustainable course of development. Equity is a very bad instrument if you have crises every 5 years.
Now, to move away from stock markets a bit, at the beginning of the month, you said that the NSSC is going to provide an answer to the question of cryptocurrency regulation. How exactly does the Ukrainian government view cryptocurrencies? Are they going to be considered actual currency, valid tender, or treated as the SEC has in the United States, more as a security kind of instrument?
Well, there's, you see that there is a variety of statuses around the world. The regulators also forbid circulation of these cryptocurrencies in their jurisdiction.
Yes, in China,
some of them, yeah. Look, we're not talking about the specific cryptocurrency. Yeah. We're talking about the technology that is used for specific purposes. And that's what we're here to qualify. So the use of the technology, not Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever, but how a certain crypto file is used for what purposes. Yeah? If it's for the investment purposes, yes, it's a financial instrument and should be. And we as a regulator would like to understand what is the substance of this instrument. Is it like a security? Is it like a share that would be tradable? And who is the borrower? So we want to understand, is it the funds are invested as stated, and that should be also regulated. So that's pretty much what we need to answer. And the central bank needs to also identify their view. But we obviously have the common kind of view that this is not a substitution of the currency, and it's quite a long shot from that.
I see. Well, thank you very much for your time. You're welcome. It's very nice to speak to you.
Thank you. Thank you.